Hi, my name is Justin.
My name is Jordan.
So we've been gone for a little while, but we're just returning. I feel like this is the time where we have a lot, we've been talking about a lot of music stuff, a lot of things have been going on. So we
talk about music
all the time, so we felt like we needed to properly really do this, and we want to return. We want to really show our passion for music and pop culture, and oftentimes politics probably too, maybe somehow enveloped in between everything, because we talk about everything pretty much.
And I'm more like the hip hop R&B guy, and Justin's
more pop music.
Yeah, even though I am a fan of pop music as well, and I'm definitely open to listening to all new music from pretty much anybody, as long as it's good. Like, it's good music to me.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I feel like music in general is just, I think we haven't talked about this, but music in general has always been in our lives in one way or another, and I feel like we really just love music, and even when music might not be, certain things might not be our favorite, I think overall we just believe like music just really is a big part of our lives, and I feel like a lot of people love music as much as we do. So yeah, we would just want to connect with everyone who loves really any kind of music. So you could always suggest anything too. We're always open to anything new.
Anything new, we're music videos as well, not just the music itself.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get into albums. That's a little long form.
Performances
as well. If someone wants to show us a new performance we haven't seen. He's a dancer here. I'm not a dancer, but I feel like I've seen enough dance in my life and tours in my life to be able to at least like give some sort of input. No expert whatsoever, but at least
that's kind of the point. We want our perspective to mesh and kind of just see it from two different sides. So today we want to kind of talk about the current tours that have been going around, either just starting, about to start, soon to start, or maybe even there's like one specifically like later this year. We've both been to many different shows throughout our lives. Our first concert together was 2007.
Mm-hmm.
I have it written down. It was specifically January 16th.
Justin Timberlake
Staples Center.
At the Staples Center.
Justin Timberlake Future Sex Love Show. It was Pink who opened, and I love both artists. I think he likes Pink too, but obviously he
more
was
Justin
Timberlake. So we just want to talk about tours, and we both go to them. Even if I don't go, I love to. He knows this.
Yeah.
I love a concert film. Even if it's an artist I don't like, I don't know what it is. I think I just like. Looking at it all.
Shout out Renaissance.
Shout out to Renaissance. Beyonce, where is the footage? I want to watch it at home. But yeah, so we want to talk about current tours. I think the first one of today that we want to talk about that kind of is controversial, or whatever you want to call it, is the Lifetimes Tour. He didn't go, I went.
But I have seen Katy Perry.
Yes, he went with me to see her in Vegas. So he has seen her in person. So he kind of gets the thing. And I feel like I want to get into your mind a little bit, because there's some lore before the Lifetime Tour started.
Okay,
it was met with a lot of negatives since last summer.
Prior to it starting.
And okay, so long story short, I think a lot of people already know.
Hip hop.
So the 143 album came out. It's was previously titled KP6 in the pop. I'm pretty sure. Do records do that?
Yeah, they do. Like
Carter
1,
the
2, 3,
number,
4, 5, 6.
But it's not official album names though.
No, they do that.
I'm talking about before we know the name, we call it the initials of the artist.
I get it though. It makes sense.
It's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
But so basically, it was called KP6 for a long time, and she always looked it. And then now we knew the name or whatever. And so it all started with the Women's World single release. So people didn't really like the song. I didn't necessarily love it either, but I didn't necessarily hate it. I think the issue was that she worked with a specific producer, Dr. Luke that
I know Dr. Luke. That you told me
Dr.
about
Luke,
for sure.
if that part knows.
Yeah.
He was accused of certain things by Kesha, and I don't know if there's any other victims, but I'm in no way, I'm not saying that I don't believe Kesha. I actually do. But I think the issue is I think people oversimplified like her working with Dr. Luke. It might not be in contract, but there's been many times where artists are like, I had to work with this person because it was implied that they wouldn't release certain things. So I can't say for certain, and I think judging by the fact that usually she likes to boast about who she works with and barely mention him at all, I honestly think she probably wouldn't want to work with him, to be honest with you. And judging by, there was an interview by Courts or whatever, that she didn't work with him previously because she knew she would get backlash. So I feel like if she knew that, and she had said that she knew that years ago, she knew that this probably would have happened. I don't think she would do something that would just not be received well. And unfortunately, that's just what happened. Long story short, her A&R admitted that he's the one who said that she should work with him. And so from then, she was just plagued. And I genuinely think people already didn't like her, so it's just like fuel to the fire.
Okay, so then going into this tour.
Okay, so going to this tour, she goes into space. Whether people think it's tone deaf or not, I get what you're saying, but I also think there's been many other trips prior, so I think it's just very convenient that you didn't get mad at William Shatner or other people who did the same trip or whatever.
I mean, just being honest, me personally, if I can go like orbit Earth, like, first of all, Earth is round, okay? It's not flat. and if I could orbit Earth, like, or go into space, then they didn't orbit, right? So they only went and entered space, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously we know that's costly. We could all we can nitpick that all you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a whole different conversation, really. Like, I get it.
That's a big topic.
I get it. They have rich people with money. They're privileged in doing things like no normal person or just regular person.
She was invited though.
So if she's invited, I get it. But also, like you said, there's plenty of people that do outlandish things like that, or just not necessarily space, but like outlandish things.
I think people took their frustrations out.
We can, maybe talking about billionaires and stuff like that. That's a different conversation, a different video. So I get that, but it's like, okay, it is what it is. Like, there's so much more to focus on. That's not like the most important thing.
So what I want to say is, with the Lifetimes tour, when it happened, I like to avoid spoilers. So I want to say it was started at the end of May or something. Actually, no, end of April. And I didn't see it until July. So this was like a couple weeks ago. And almost a month ago, actually. But so as far as the tour, the reason why it's important to bring this up is because everyone's reception has already been negative. So no matter what she was doing, the tour started. And
I've seen some clips of it.
A bunch of clips came out, and there a lot of it's taken out of context, because genuinely there's a lot of her tours you saw, even her Vegas show, there's a storyline. And so it got confused, and people started using clips from the Play show and saying, oh, the tour is bad, even though it's two different shows. So the thing is that also you can tell the stage is one's a Vegas show stage, and unfortunately the internet doesn't always. There's a lack of nuance, so we'll go into that a little bit more. But as far as the tour goes, what I want to say is that I am a fan, so I'm probably biased, but I am an honest fan. So I wouldn't say that all her tours from what I've seen, I haven't been to all of them, but from what I've seen, I wouldn't say all of them are the best either.
Yeah.
I genuinely
I feel like she's evolved, right?
That's what I'm saying.
As far as,
I think she's evolved a lot, and I think people have a strong notion with the Teenage Dream era, and that is always, I've told him this, every album that she comes out with, it's always compared to that one, but because that one's so high, she's never gonna match that amount of success. That's just,
we all know, but she's in a different place in her
even
life.
besides that, she is not in the same headspace to create that kind of album anymore. So I feel like, genuinely, I think people need to move on. But what I'm saying is that as an honest person, honestly, she performed way better than she did back then. People like to glorify that era a little too much for me.
Yeah.
There's performance of
I mean, if you compare.
I'm sorry. She has a lot.
You compare even just the small clips that I've seen, like from that tour, and compare it to the Super Bowl performance, for example. I mean, there's definitely growth there.
Yeah, I think she's a lot stronger now, and I think the main thing that I'm impressed with is her ability to capture an audience from basically the stage from one end to another. It's big.
But I think overall what we want to talk about too is like when we talk about some of these tours, like just a few, is that there is a difference
between every artist.
Me understanding that like J. Cole, for example, great rap performer, he's in his own lane, and as far as performances go, you know, some of these rappers like are lackluster, to be honest with you. And not saying J. Cole, but like they're in their own lane, and what they do is it doesn't really compare, to be honest with you. Like that's why they're in their own lane. You know, I think that you
can't do compare. Sometimes it just feels, as an audience member, you could potentially feel a little cheated.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not saying you can't be cheated. I'm just saying like there's still like
because we're you know,
me and him have talked about this so much as far as like rap performers and then like so I totally get it. But I also like I'm not gonna put J. Cole in the same realm as like a Justin Timberlake, because we don't expect J. Cole to like, oh, let me hit you with like, you know, quick like 8 count, like, you know what I mean, like
some aerial moves.
Yeah, exactly. Like so, but what I know from Katy Perry, like vocals on point for sure from what I remember.
I genuinely will tell you they've improved over time. So, like there's performances from back in the day
production
that I loved her for, but that I'm like I can't say that they're stronger back then.
Yeah.
Even though she was more successful back then, honestly the part that irks me the most is that I honestly can't watch her early performances from that era because I never thought really any of them were strong. I'm sorry. I love
it's a little cringe now.
I love it, but a lot of the moves were Lifetimes Tour. Okay, so this tour was plagued with a lot of things, and you know, kind of went through that, but but basically it starts, and a lot of people have negative reception to it. But I genuinely, like, even if I don't like the artist or whatever, I personally don't judge a full album, full tour, or whatever, unless I've actually either been there or at least there's some way that I can watch it at home or something.
And I feel like
because I just feel like in general, it's never gonna be that. You could catch the moment of the artist being silly on stage for a little bit, and then even though the tour has like a script, which the Lifetimes tour has like a storyline and the whole thing, and because she's going off script, it looks like, oh, this whole tour is like this. I'm like, first of all, she's always been silly.
Every night could be a little different.
Just him seeing her in Vegas, was she cracking jokes?
100%.
She doesn't take herself. There's moments where she for sure takes herself very seriously.
Yeah, of course.
We like to,
in the moment of the performance,
making sure you execute. As Katy Cats, we like to say, Katy Perry.
Okay.
That's when she's very fierce, and she can be. And we've seen her in Super Bowl. She was like A game, really.
Yeah,
so this tour was basically there's a whole story and all these things, and a lot of people take it out of context. I went to go see it. I feel like I only saw glimpses, kind of, because it was so hard to avoid because there was a lot of backlash. But I really didn't see it much, like, at all. Like, it really told me nothing about it, genuinely. So I went in very blind. I go, and I'm a huge fan, and I personally love the album. Do I agree that she should have worked with a certain person? No, but I also think there's probably more to the story. Like, I genuinely believe that, because there's been so many times years later of a certain artist saying, hey, during this time, this is what happened. This is why this happened, or whatever. It maybe not have been in a contract, but unfortunately with how these record labels are, they can heavily imply things, and the artist has to read between the lines, and they kind of see things as they come.
Yeah.
And it could have been a threat, it could have been, you do this, then we're gonna delay everything. Yeah. So, but the show itself, I had a good time. I went with one of my friends, with my boyfriend. My friend has seen her in Vegas too.
Yeah.
But we went, me being the big fan, I genuinely think I've never seen her perform better that well. And I think I say that because she got really physically active. I love the theatrics, and for people to say, oh, why is she in the air? There's many other tours that she sustained in the air. In Vegas,
or on top of props and stuff.
In Vegas, exactly. In Vegas, she did that. So I genuinely think that the tour is very fun. The only negative as a fan, I guess you could say, is that I hope one day she starts forcing people to listen to other songs by virtue of like
not doing certain songs.
A lot of hits, even though people love them. Yeah. So I think overall, if you're a fan of her music, I think you'll enjoy it. I think anyone can enjoy it. I think honestly, I think he would have loved that.
I probably would have liked
because
I like Vegas.
I went into it was very 143 was very upbeat dance music. It was not meant to be super serious. It does have a little bit of heart to it. I wouldn't say that it doesn't.
I probably heard it only a handful of songs.
Yeah, so I think there is some heart to it, but I would say overall, the whole purpose was for it to be just fun.
Maybe we need to react to a song.
That's just what it was. It was just supposed to be fun, and I think it added to everything. And honestly, as far as her catalog goes, she had a few dance songs that were in that kind of very dance heavy area. But I would say that she was lacking really an overall big bunch of that. I couldn't put a whole playlist of
so she had a little.
I think overall, what I'm also excited about is that eventually these songs being translated in other tours and living on from there. So I think overall, I loved it. I think unfortunately people are seeing it very narrowly, and I think there has been people who have gone recently that are like, oh wait, what is everyone talking about? There's a whole storyline. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I had a great time.
But overall, though, our point is too is that like I said before, was that there's shows that for me on the outside looking in, not like a pop fan, but I also do know that certain artists are gonna have a different level of production, different level of care to when it comes to the show, and they're gonna curate a whole set list, like in a way that's gonna tell a story. And then there's probably going to be a thread that goes throughout the whole thing, whether it's like interludes or whatever the case may be, or some talking or like video, like B-roll footage, whatever, like little stuff, So I don't know if she's gonna put it out somewhere, maybe somewhere to see it, but I would see it. But the next person, which I actually went to the show, it was my first ever show, seeing her was Lady Gaga with Mayhem Ball tour. I outside looking in, it doesn't mean I have heard Lady Gaga,
but he's heard a lot
through him for sure. And also too, I have a daughter and she loves her latest album, so we listen to that in the car all the time. And so seeing the show, going into it, I already knew Lady Gaga is definitely theatrical for sure. And there's gonna be a story. There's gonna be it's not a basic show whatsoever. There's a high level production, whether it be the dancers or the live musicians or the stage itself. It was wow, okay, this is it's a whole thing. I look like an opera type of it's like a movie set type of thing.
It is
or a play.
It's supposed to be a play.
So that's that was striking to me as soon as we got to the venue, which is in Vegas. It was great. I honestly
the opulent music as soon as you get in it too.
Yeah, so
it's
honestly just
as soon as you get in.
My feeling through it, it was the music, it was the production, it was obviously her performance vocally and dance wise. I thought it was amazing, to be honest with you. It was probably one of the best shows I've been to be honest with you. And also
this is a lot.
The music was great, and also when you see it live and when you are in a whole arena, with people, just everyone having a great time, it's just so infectious. I love that, honestly.
And I'm so glad he got to go. I wouldn't shut up about Chromatica Ball for 2.5 years straight. I was begging for Chromatica Ball to be on a streaming, and it did. You should have seen my reaction when I looked at my phone and was like, hey,
announcement,
Chromatica Ball coming out. I was like, what? And then that kind of starts out the whole era, because at the end of that film, we had a whole viewing party with friends and stuff. That all of a sudden, at the end of Hold My Hand, me thinking I went to the show that it was filmed in Los Angeles. Me thinking it's okay. I know she's gonna do a little pose, and she walks off, and I think okay, the credits are gonna roll.
Yeah.
Then it says LG7 Gaga Returns, I was like, is this a Batman Returns? Like what? It was like, it felt like a movie. I was like, what do you mean a Batman
Post-credit scene?
It seems like a post-credit. I was like, oh, a cliffhanger. What is it? Avenger movie?
Yeah.
So I've been hyped since then. So me going to the show.
How long was that again?
It's gonna be crazy. I'm crazy.
How many
that it came out on May 25th.
Okay, let's go.
Because I have a poster of the Chromatic Ball, so I've always.
What year were you?
It came out. The Chromatic Ball film came out last year, and the film was filmed in September of 2022.
Okay, that's what I thought. I know.
And he dropped me off.
Actually,
Shout out to him.
I did.
He dropped me off because I didn't wanna. Long story short,
What venue was that again?
It was at Dodger Stadium.
So this, I did.
So this, the reason why this show is very different was because it went from doing stadium to this, and it wasn't a downgrade. I think I genuinely believe.
But I remember telling you going to the Dodger Stadium tour. Just side note is like it was perfect that you got the floor because for me, like I know how far those shows are, and I'm just no.
Yeah, I was in the pit, so you can see me on the film.
Really.
But as far as the Mayhem Ball though,
no,
I know I'm biased. I love Lady Gaga. I've loved her.
Very biased.
I've loved her since freaking
day zero.
Just Dance, like from
day zero.
Day zero, like who is this chick?
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
who's this lady? But so I love her. But me going in, I like. This was actually my first tour though that I kind of technically saw things because I don't know if you know this. She said that she wasn't gonna go on tour. So I think what happened is that they already prepared for Coachella and they were like, well, we're gonna go on tour. We might have to use some of this, but we just don't have the time. So Mayhem Ball. So it's like two different perspectives. I'm a huge fan. He's casual. I think Luke is a little monster now.
Probably.
I think I was sold, and I think he basically ultimately said he wants to go to see her again,
but I'll be
closer. And I think that although I will say it was fun to see the fact that the energy was so big, even if we didn't have.
We were all the way in the back, but it didn't feel.
It was like at the high.
It's not like the back of the Gold Bowl or
it wasn't like that. We were able to see it.
No, for sure. And I like it too, like being able to see everybody just
because
having a great
positive. The screens on the floor, so there's a lot to look at regardless.
We were all jumping up and down from the back.
Yeah, and so that just kind of just shows, like, and I was telling him that like the last time I went, which was the night 4 in Los Angeles, just the energy. It just, I think it's so hard to put into words. It meant a lot to me for him to be there, but then it meant a lot to me. Even if he didn't go, it just means a lot to me to just go or be able to go, whatever. Even that many times might be excessive, but I think I was just making up for not seeing her so many times. But overall, the show is, I think anyone can enjoy her, and I think that's one of the bucket list people that should.
Wait, how many times did you go? I don't think you sold them.
4 times. Twice in Vegas, twice in LA. Yeah. And I just making up for not going to.
Hey, there's a handful of artists I feel like or maybe like 3 artists that I'll probably do the same thing, so I can't even judge. I can't even knock it. To be honest,
I think overall anyone can enjoy it. I think I loved it so much. It just meant so much to me. I think if I would have, I just wanted one Chromatica song, but I think overall I hope that it goes on streaming somehow and we could maybe react to it. I know that technically Copacabana and that footage exists, but I genuinely am impressed with how fast they were able to make it into an arena experience versus the festival performance. And I think there's definitely a lot more that they added, and that was so fun to see something different. But I've never been disappointed to see her, so I'm glad that we were able to do it. Hopefully we can react to it.
There's like 2 more artists that we do want to talk about.
That I think they kind of go.
I mean, I wish I made one of these at least. I think they go in conjunction, which is. But I think yes, I think what we
are legacy artists.
Yes,
to some people.
Legacy artists to some people, but they are very much relevant
to the fact that if you're still if you bring up them all the time, even if they don't have a recent hit to some standards. So what I want to say is I do love Jennifer Lopez, but I've never once said that I love her more than other artists or whatever. So I think people take me out of context that way, and I am a huge fan. But I would say if someone like pick this person over this person, I would be like, okay, well, sorry, Lady Gaga is just my number one.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga would not.
But with J-Lo though, like,
she just wrapped up her summer tour, and I want to say, to be honest with you, it was to see other places that she's never been to before.
Yeah.
But I also think it is smart because it's getting recent footage to promote the Vegas show, and that's just a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Before Vegas happens, for a lot of artists, they'll do like a few spot shows to use that footage to put on the jumbotrons and be like, come see Vegas, whatever. So she went on a tour. People said that she didn't sell last year. We can get into that another time. But when you look at the actual numbers beyond the headline,
I mean, people showed up.
She was selling just fine. So, and similar, with not to bring the Lifetime Tour up again, but it's relevant. A lot of the Lifetime Tour dates, I didn't tell him this, but a lot of Lifetime Tour dates weren't selling well to some people. But basically, what it meant was there was still ticket available, and then. You should have saw it was like Detroit, for example. There was so many tickets available like 2 months ago, and then cut to the day of the show, there was like almost nothing available.
There's a side note about
people just
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick
Lamar.
People
People were
just
saying
do.
about Kendrick Lamar and his
Not
GNS
selling.
tour not selling out. I mean, technically it's sold out as 90. I think it's 90. The threshold is 90 plus percentage. Like, because like you said, when it comes to the show day. Good luck trying to find tickets 2 hours before the show.
And if you do, they're probably resold by a lot.
That you might find like that one seat in that one spot.
You're not gonna find
like some, no. So I get what you're saying about the tickets for sure, but also J-Lo, like at least far as what I know, I mean, obviously she looks great, but like that doesn't matter. We're talking about like the performance, like her as a performer. I know that she's a great performer. I know that she makes good music. I think. From what I know,
I think people just also
like to hate on her for sure.
Too much on old music only, and this goes for every artist, you know.
Yeah.
At some point, we gotta like be able to let the artist do something else and move on. And if you don't want to listen to it, no one's forcing you to.
No.
So basically, what I want to say is she's gonna go to Vegas. We're probably gonna go because it's
probably
around our birthday time. We might be.
I don't know, maybe.
And
when we get better at all this, maybe we can make a video about that.
Yeah. So. What I do want to say though, as far as Justin Timberlake is that a lot of people take certain clips and she did the summer run.
We're talking about that clip.
They were talking about a clip from a tour or her Vegas show that ended in 2018.
Yeah.
And then also the clip of Justin Timberlake, him singing, which
was it that one?
He could cut the song out.
It was Can't Stop the Feeling, right?
Yeah, it's Can't Stop the Feeling because I love his music, but I'm not gonna be here like Can't Stop the Feeling.
I mean, the only reason I watch. Like because it's trolls and my daughter, like
it is fun when you're there. I will admit, it's a fun song when you're there.
Yeah, and it's probably if you had to rank like a kid song that you would actually listen to, I'd probably pick that one.
Yeah, over
at least at the top of my head, like
over
probably one of the kid songs. Like if you had to like pick one to listen to,
at least this was tolerable, right?
So
so what I want to say is that there's clips of Justin Timberlake. Mind you, he had been touring since April of last year. That's a long time. Yeah. Technically, his tour, like with the whole production and the whole, again, he's one of the people who does a whole like setup and like everything is very choreographed.
I love that I've seen him 3 times.
And so he's seen that too. And so we're judging from people who have actually seen him, and I think a lot of people have not.
Yeah.
So they say, "Oh, his tour sucked," and I'm like, "You took a one clip of him going like this, which I've been to many." Concerts,
but also like you said,
it was the festival run. It's
a stripped down version.
Very completely, but there was no dancers.
Yeah,
the stage is different. It was just in outside places, and
which I think is cool too.
Cities, and it was for people to see him. And honestly, he didn't really have to because the tour ended in February.
Yeah,
and he did go to Europe already. So I honestly don't know why he did it. Maybe he just wanted to do it. There was no dancers. The set list was very much shorter than the original tour. Yeah. He didn't do any choreography because it is kind of awkward to do a choreography with one person. Like it's better when so you can see the whole picture of it all.
And layers. Exactly.
Yeah. There are certain dances that I've seen that if I do, I can learn it, and if I do by myself, it just looks weird.
Yeah.
But when it's a whole group, it looks better.
Of course.
So I think what I want to say is between these two is that I genuinely think people think of them as a certain way because they can't move past who they once were, and they aren't used to gravitating towards new music. Like genuinely, and I love J-Lo, but there's older albums of hers that actually don't think are as strong. And I think her last album was her best. I genuinely think her last album was her best, and I think people just are like, you need to hang it up. Like, it's like, if you weren't even wanting to go, why do you care?
There's honorable mentions. Me again, being the hip hop person, a lot of people say the same sentiments as far as like when it comes like to the ageism type of stuff. Like you say all the time with Madonna, or I say with Eminem. Like people like are so like into like the nostalgia factor, and like Eminem does it. He still does some of the old songs because he's such a big artist, but also he doesn't tour. So I'm not mad at him. He has worked in new stuff in all that, which is great. But like,
if he doesn't tour,
these people are able to evolve, able to do different things.
Mind you, J-Lo's only had
like a J-Lo
three official tours. So I think people say she does the same thing, and I'm like, she's only had 3 tours, and mind you, these people probably haven't even watched any of those.
No.
And a lot of people just compare. They also fail to realize that sometimes when they do promo performances, those promo performances are adapted for the stage because it is easier to do that. So that's why it's the same, but you're only comparing one song in one show that is the same, and versus
it's one song and one performance or one
like
song
Abracadabra
in the set list.
for example.
Within a set list of what, 30 songs?
Abracadabra was promoted at SNL.
Yeah.
The choreography is the same in the SNL performances as the tour.
I don't recall.
It's not really shocking.
Is it also the similar like as far as the music video? I think so.
Yeah, the choreography is the same. It's just too much to do. It's different if you took a song from your earlier years and remixed it and then changed the choreography. That makes more sense. Yeah. But if the album just came out and the song was new, yes, I think you should keep the choreography the same, and then maybe down the line change it because it's just came out. But I think what we want to say is that we feel like the internet just takes certain clips. They don't do the due diligence.
Also, some tours don't really go to tours. Like also too, they'll compare like again rap world. They'll say things like, "Oh my gosh, like I want to go see Rod Wave or like NBA YoungBoy or whatever." Like no disrespect to those guys, like they have their own lane, they have music that maybe I like as well. But like there's a level of production within rap music and artists that perform, and then there's a whole different tier when it comes to pop artists. Like Lady Gaga, like J-Lo, like Justin Timberlake, like Beyonce, like
which I did go to Crowd
like I wish I would have said
go to Crowd
Beyonce, like for example, like I know, like I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like, oh my, like overall, like pound for pound, is Eminem like absolutely a better performer than Beyonce? Of course not. Like but if it's not your cup of tea again, like, but you can't. They're in their own lane, and just there's a different tier when it comes to rap production and everything. Also, Eminem is probably the better performer in overall production.
And to add to that is that like, so all the pop artists that we were listing, I think it's genuinely never. You can totally prefer Gaga over J-Lo and Katy Perry, and I know some people are gonna be like, of course Lady Gaga is better than J-Lo. And I'm like, I feel like it genuinely people don't realize that sometimes we don't. I mean maybe just me. I don't need someone to belt their heart out for me to enjoy the song. True. Like J-Lo to me, I again go back to This Is Me Now. I genuinely think 2002 J-Lo could not sing any of those songs because I genuinely think she put the time in to get better, and that's why I enjoy the music more. It's more cohesive, it's better sounding, the quality is better. I just think she took their time. Mind you, people say, hang it up, you're doing too much. There was 10 years between the albums.
I was gonna say there's definitely time.
So she's not shoving in your face. If there's 10 years between albums, I think that's taking a lot of time.
I mean, she's not over here putting out an album
and Justin Timberlake
trying to figure it out.
The other day I saw a TikTok of this girl saying Justin Timberlake needs to sit and focus on making better music. He took 6 years between albums. This man, I mean, if anyone knows Justin Timberlake, he will sit there and make sure that he's ready to do the album to release.
And when he releases it, when he rolls out an album.
He's gonna tour for like 2 years.
You know for a fact that there's gonna be a high level production tour behind it, and
it was about 6 years between the two.
Very, very much a lot of thought.
He's not just
into that album
music together,
just releasing it for sure.
So I think overall, we think not to be preachy, but I genuinely think people need to sometimes sit with themselves and be like, is this true? Did I look up when this was?
Yeah.
Did I see the whole thing? It's just like me watching a show. I can't watch a random scene in the show and it could genuinely look weird or odd or whatever, or bad or whatever you want to call it, or even it might be even good from that one little thing. But I don't know the whole picture.
Just do your due diligence, people, before you start commenting and like on like anyone's performance, whether it's a clip of like Lil Wayne like doing one back, even though maybe he's a bad example because Lil Wayne is not the greatest performer, and I'm sorry, he does not deserve or did not deserve the Super Bowl performance. As much as I love Lil Wayne and his music, he did not. I know it's New Orleans, but that's a whole different conversation we can have too.
I mean,
about how a Super Bowl performance is
that. Adele is a great artist, but she herself.
I don't want to see her on the Super Bowl.
She herself has said, I shouldn't do Super Bowl because I'm not that kind of artist. And I think that's another point that kind of overarches everything. I think everyone gives me something different. That's why I enjoy J-Lo. That's why I enjoy Gaga and Katy Perry. I don't go to Katy Perry expecting her to do abracadabra choreography and 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I genuinely think she actually got better at doing some moves a little cleaner now? Yeah. Because I'm a dancer and I judge these things. Yeah. I genuinely do. That's why I said earlier years, this Teenage Dream era is not as great as people. I'm sorry, it's just not as great as people make it out to be. Musically, it was great, but also. Again, it's just the nostalgia. Sometimes, I do genuinely think it blinds people from being able to just. Sometimes also people should just enjoy something new for once.
That's what I was gonna say. Exactly what I was gonna say. Just try something new. Like I obviously have listened to Lady Gaga before prior to the Mayhem Ball tour and going to see the show. Like I had some idea of what to expect, but sometimes take that leap and like actually go. Like even if it's. You know, sometimes you might find a last minute ticket for like $50 or whatever.
A lot of people are for Katy Perry.
You can do that to different shows, like even smaller artists. Like maybe just give it a chance. Like I think live shows is awesome for artists, and I think it's that where it really shows the long game of who is really the relevant people. Exactly, because there's artists that have like #1 hits, but they can't sell out a tour with venues larger than like 500.
Mind you, J-Lo's doing Vegas at I think Caesar's Palace. There's tickets for shows in December, and there's certain artists, I can't remember who it is, but there's certain artists that are performing there in the same venue the next 2 months. She starts end of December, and she's selling faster, and their shows are coming up closer.
Hey, but overall,
and I'm not saying they're not going to sell. Like I said, I genuinely think most people sell fine. They wouldn't book them if they couldn't. Yeah. But I genuinely think it just goes to show that, you know, people go on a headline, they already don't like the person, so they're gonna believe the latter half rather than what might be true. Whether you like the person or not, the truth is they wouldn't book J-Lo to do Vegas if they didn't think they could make money. And Vegas is a business, so So I also think, not to go on another tangent, but I generally think it's sometimes harder for you to do Vegas than to do a tour because people have to plan to go see you, they have to fly to go see you, they have to drive to go see you. They're putting all this effort into going to see you versus, hey, let me go to the arena 20 minutes away from my house.
True. When you come into town.
Yes, when they come into town. So I think, you know, these tours we love live show, we love seeing people, you know, go see Gaga, go see Katy, go see J-Lo, give her a chance. Again, the other thing is, I've never once said that certain people are the best singers ever. I just think I give credit where credit is due, and if someone improves on something, I'm gonna give them credit. So, yeah, I had my life. We had our life at the Mayhem Ball. Maybe a reaction to that will come at some point.
We had a great time for sure. I was lit as hell.
Yeah, it was lit. It was lit. Put your paws up. Which that was another thing. He knew that. He knew to put his paws up. He was a good audience member. So yeah, it was great.
Thank you for watching, guys. For whoever made it this far, we appreciate you. We're definitely gonna be more consistent with this. All our links will be in the description. Leave any comment, what you liked, what you didn't like, what we said, any opinions on anything that we said. We are more than like open and welcome all those things, and any suggestions, anything pop or rock or whatever. Like
we're always down for
anything new. You like it, you think it's your favorite song, put that shit in there. We want to hear it. We want to hear it. And anything,
maybe revisits,
anything hip hop.
We don't mind revisits.
maybe hip hop you think he hasn't heard, or maybe even I haven't heard, or any pop music that maybe you think I haven't heard at all. I feel like I heard an okay amount, but like I know I'm down to get deeper in my pop bag. So whatever, like we appreciate
live show. I love live shows. So if you have any
recommendations,
performances we want to see, like I said, I'm down to do revisits on certain artists that we even talked about today. Just because I think it would be kind of fun to maybe listen in hindsight, or maybe time has passed. So you don't adjust up to
or put our opinions on tape. But anyways, we'll thank you guys. Appreciate it. See you next time.
Follow us on social media, all in the description. Any suggestion can be left anywhere. We hope to see you next time.
Peace.